Hey, what's up everyone? Danny Lightning back with another Warbots video. So today we're going to go over all the Titan weapons and let you know which ones are actually worth playing and which ones are not. You do got to remember probably about every 6 months or so they do rebalances and some things get downgraded and some things get upgraded. So always pay attention to the date on these type of videos. If it's more than like a year old or even 6 months old, it might be a little bit outdated. Now, I will make a chapter for each weapon on this video. That way, if there's a specific weapon you want to see, you can just skip to the ones you want and find out if I think they're any good. So, let's go ahead and get to it. And what do you think? Do you like the backwards hat or is it too 1990s? Alright, let me know in the comments. First up on the list, we have the Bulava and the Kristen weapons. And unfortunately, these are not the greatest. Personally, I don't think these are worth playing. They're not good for a lot of reasons. I just wouldn't bother with these. So in 2025, the Bulava weapons and the Christians, no thank you at all. Alright, so next up we have the Titan shotguns like the Groms and the Squalls. Personally, I don't think they're that good. I think they do okay. You got to be really close to the enemy and they just don't feel like they're racking up that much damage, to tell you the truth. I don't like these. I don't really feel like these are worth playing. So for me, it's a pass. Every time I throw these on some Titans, I'm like, nah, I'm going to change to something else. So I say no thank you to the Groms and the Squalls. Next up, we have the Huginn and the Muninn weapons. I actually think these are still really good. These do really nice damage, but they do have a 350 meter range. So you do got to be pretty close for these to work. If you're somebody who likes to hang back and do damage from a distance, you may not like these, but if you're somebody who likes to get up close and fight in, right in somebody's face, then hey, the Hugginns and the Munins are probably right up your alley. I think these weapons are quite good, and they're probably one of the better Titan weapons at the moment. Alright, so next up we have the Arbiter weapon. These are the Titan Gatling guns, I like to call them. There is an alpha and a beta, and these things are actually pretty good. They got 600 meters, and they have a 10-second cooldown. Now, they start off shooting really slow, and then as you hold the trigger down, they get faster and faster and faster, and if you hold the trigger too long, these things will overheat. So these definitely take some getting used to. They're a little bit weird to keep in the optimal firing range. You constantly gotta, hold down the trigger, let go for a while, hold down, let go. You never want these things to overheat, but these are actually pretty darn good if you figure out how to play them and you get used to the weird mechanics. But yeah, these are great weapons right now, doing lots of damage, fun to play, but they do take some getting used to. So I would say if you like something like this, go for it. Very good weapons at the moment. Alright, so next up we have the Anguisher and the Runer. These are the Titan acid shotguns. Now these are actually really good weapons, but you do have to be as close as the enemy as possible, as close to the enemy as possible if you want these things to do well, because the bullets spread out. The further away the enemy is, the less of the ammo that's hitting them. So if you're at 500 meters, you're probably doing very little damage. If you're at 50 meters, these things still pack a punch, but I think they're a little bit harder to play due to the fact that you got to be so close. Now, personally, I like these weapons. I think these are still good, but what I find is if I mix these with the Titan Sonic weapons, that is a hell of a setup right there. So I don't really love these as much by themselves. I think they're still playable and I still like them, but two of these mixed with some Titan Sonics, that does some damage. That's a very, very good setup. So these are best with a mix match setup in my opinion, but they're pretty decent on their own. I mean, they got 500 meter range, like I said. They work best at close range. They've got a 4-second reload, and they do 37,500 per particle shot. So that's good damage at close range. Personally, I think these are worth playing. I do like them. So if you got some of these laying around, they're probably worth leveling up. Alright, let's go to the next weapon. Next up, we have the Vindicator style of weapons. Now, personally, I'm not really liking these. These are really made for sniper weapons. I mean, they got great range. They got a 15-second reload now, and they do about almost 40,000 per shot. But personally, I don't know. I just can't get into these weapons. I don't really like them. I mean, if you're playing sniper and you really want something for long range, you might enjoy these, but they just don't feel like they're doing anywhere near as much damage as they used to. And I don't know, This is one that's a pass for me. I'm not going to play these anymore. I just don't really like them at this current time. Next up, we have the Titan Flamethrowers, so the Infernos and the Pyros. Now, I personally like these. These are a close range set of weapons. They're not doing ginormous amounts of damage. I mean, these things used to be brutal, but in my opinion, they're still pretty good. So I can put these on like my Heimdall or something, on my Luchador. I can run in there and have a lot of fun with these. Now, these are good for something like the Ultimate Arthur, because these things will go right through the shield on Ultimate Arthur. So these are good for killing rooks as well. These are just really nice weapons. They're very well-rounded. They're not doing huge amounts of damage, but I still really enjoy playing those. So in my opinion, these are worth playing, but there are probably better choices out there. Alright, the Infernos, bam, Titan Flamethrowers. Let's move on to the next thing. Next up, we have the Discordia and the Tulumbas. Personally, I think these things currently suck. They don't seem to do very much damage. They shoot for a really long time, but then when you need to reload, it's a 15-second reload. Personally, I don't really think they're worth playing. I mean, I just put them on something the other day to double check, and they're not my style. So for me, these are definitely a pass. No thank you. No thank you at all. I am not interested in your Discordia bendy bullet weapons. You just don't do enough damage. Next up, we have the Tonan and the Fulgur type of weapons, and honestly, I absolutely hate trying to play these. I mean, they got an 800 meter range, but they only do like 3,000 damage per shot there, and I mean, I don't know if that's per shot, or I don't know how that's registered, but it feels like 3,000 damage per shot. I feel like I shoot people and nothing happens, and I'm like, okay. That was very, 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 very bad that I put this on my Titan, and I am going to take this off and play something else on the next game. So for me, no thank you. No thank you. Get out of my hangar, Tonans. I don't like you. Next up, we have the Titan Ice Rockets, the Argon and the Oxys. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, these are really good weapons, except for the fact that they have a 28-second reload. That is a very long reload, but they have a load of ammo, so they seem like they shoot for a really long time before you run out of ammo. They freeze people, that makes people do more damage. They're good weapons, so you can let these reload by like 25 or 50% and then fire them off, and you still have a lot of ammo because they shoot for so long. But I think a lot of people aren't going to like these just because the reload is so long. I mean, 28 seconds, that is a very long reload. But I still think if you can get used to playing these with the long reload, I still think they're good weapons, right? In a one-on-one situation, these are great, but they're even better in a team fight. If you can stand back, because they do have a 300-meter range, right? If you can stand back behind your teammates, like let's just say there's a couple maulers or something, there's a big brawl right in front of you, stand back, you know? Shoot people with these things and keep a little bit of a distance, and it'll help your teammates, you know, deal more damage since it's freezing people. So these are definitely very playable, but they're definitely not going to be for everybody. A lot of people are not going to like these because of the reload, but I do think they're good. So that's my feelings on the Oxy and the Argon weapons. So let's move on. Next up, we have the Veyron and the Evoras. These are the Titan Sonic weapons. Now, in my opinion, these are like the best all-around weapons in the game when it comes to Titans. You can throw these on any Titan and they just do good. I mean, they got a 500 meter range. They do the best damage up close because, you know, they do have a little bit of a spread, but even at 500 meters, you can stand back and do some nice damage. At close range, they do even more damage. So these are just pretty good. 8-second reload, 500 meter range. I can just put these on any Titan and have a good time with it. So I think these are one of the best all-around Titan weapons to get because I don't care what you're playing, they just work. They're just very good weapons. And maybe if you mix two of these with those acid shotguns, then you got a really brutal setup for close range. So I like these things. I think they're just really, 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 really good. Next, we're going to move over to the Lance and the Glaive. Now, these are pretty interesting weapons. I feel like you're doing a lot more damage with the alpha version compared to the beta. So the alpha is doing 9,975 per shot, and the beta says it does about 7,350 per shot. I mean, these don't feel extremely strong, but they never have a reload, so you can just sit there and fire and fire and fire as much as you want and kind of nickel and dime people to death. I mean, they're not huge damage weapons, but they're pretty good. I like these. I don't love these. I think these are worth playing. I think there are much better choices out there, but the Lance and Glaives are pretty good. I sort of almost recommend these, but at the same time, you're probably better off something like the Evoras if you have them. So these are kind of like good, but not great. Most people probably aren't going to really want to play these, but there's a few people out there that will probably like them. Okay, so next up are the Titan, the Maha and the Maha Vajras. These are Titan energy shotguns. Now, as good as these are, I just can't get into these. I think they do lots of great damage, but the problem I have is so many of the shots seem to miss the enemies. I just constantly feel like I'm firing off shots and they don't land for some reason. You see them like go right through the enemy or hit the enemy, and it doesn't seem to register all the time. So I have a lot of problems with that, but they do have a 5-second reload. They do good damage. They have a 500 meter range, but again, the bullets spread out, so the further away you are from the enemy, the less damage you're going to do. These need to be at like 50 meters or closer to do the maximum amount of damage. But personally, I just don't really love these things. It's not that they're bad weapons. They just don't work for me. They really don't. I can't get into these ones personally. I know a lot of people that like them, but for me, these ones are a pass. For other people, they seem to work out, but I just feel like they miss way too many shots for some reason. It seems like they just go right through the enemy and don't register half the time, so that's why I don't really like to play these ones. Next up on the list, we have the Gargantua weapons and the Pantagruels, and I'm going to tell you what, I really like these weapons if your goal is healing. If you want to damage something, don't expect these to do any damage to anything. The damage is weak, but they will heal you and keep you alive, so if you're looking for like the ultimate support robot where you just want to heal yourself, like if you put these on a bedware and you just use that shield to protect your teammates and just use these to heal yourself, that's great. But if you're looking to do some damage, you're probably not going to like these weapons because they are probably extremely low damage weapons. Probably the most low damage weapons in the game, I would say. I mean, it just does nothing. Heals you up, but doesn't damage the enemy. So most people probably aren't going to want to play these unless you're only looking for healing. So yeah, probably a pass for most people. Next, we have the Dazzlers and the Lanterns, and these are cool weapons. They blind the enemy, they got nice range, and a fast reload. They don't really do a whole lot of damage these days, however, so if you're looking for really high damage weapons, you're not going to like these. If you want something that does, some damage and blinds people, if you're trying to play support from 600 meters back, like these are great on Heimdall if you're trying to play support, you know what I mean? They're not going to be something I would throw on like a Luchador or a Mauler, but, long distance support weapons that help your teammates and do a little damage, that's kind of what these are. So I think for most people, these are going to be pass. For me, I might play these every once in a while on a couple of robots, but this isn't something you're going to see me playing very often. They're just kind of okay. So next up, we have the Strikers. These things have an 8-second reload. I mean, they're kind of like sniper weapons for your Titans, but I just can't get into these ones. Every time I try and play these on something, I've always been a little disappointed. Even when they were, except for when they were brand new. Like when these first came out, you would throw 3 of these on a Sharenga or something like that, and they would pack a punch. But right now, I just can't get into these ones. I don't like them, so I can't really recommend these to anybody. I don't really see anybody playing these either. I mean, it's very rare that I see anybody in Champion League playing this set of weapons. I mean, if you're a new player, these will probably do huge amounts of damage in the lower leagues, but of course, as you keep playing the game, you are going to move up in leagues. So eventually you will get up to the higher leagues, and if you upgrade something like this, you'll probably be pretty disappointed with it once you get up into the higher leagues. So for me, this one's a pass. I say no thank you to the Strikers. And I don't think there's a beta version of this. I think there's only the alpha, so this one does not have a beta counterpart, just the heavy alpha weapon. Alright, so next up on the list is the Cataclysm. Now, these are weapons I no longer recommend just for the fact that they have a lock-on. There's always robots going in and out of stealth. You're constantly losing your lock-on. And, you know, these may have a 600-meter range, but they're one of those deals where they're designed to do a little bit of damage at 600 meters, huge damage at like 50 meters, but these just really aren't worth playing these days. I mean, the damage is actually good, but the lock-on pretty much kills these weapons because everything seems to figure out how to make you lose lock-on, and then you got to sit there and wait and wait and wait for them to lock on. Then you lose it again, then like crap, and then you got to sit there and wait. It's just not fun playing weapons with a lock-on right now. So personally, I say these are a pass. Now, the next weapon we're going to talk about, these are a beta only. I don't think there's a heavy version of these, but we have these Cinders, right? These Cinder weapons. These are really weird. I mean, they got a close range, and they just sit there and damage people. Anybody who's inside the little circle, you'll see a circle around your robot when you're playing these. Anybody who's inside the circle will get damaged by these, but they do have a really long reload time. I think they have, what, a 15-second reload, so I don't know. I mean, I've tried to like these weapons. I've tried to have fun with them. I mean, they're kind of cool in some ways, but I don't think the average person's really going to love these. There may be a few people out there who really like these weapons still. They're definitely playable. They're definitely good, but just the way they work in the long reload turns a lot of people off. So I think for your average person, these are going to be a pass. So I don't really recommend these unless you really just, I don't know. I don't recommend them. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to yammer on about something and I lost my train of thought while I was saying it. So yeah, don't like the Cinders personally. Next up, we are going to talk about the Gendarme and the Cuirassier. Cuirassier. I don't know how to say that thing. These are old school weapons, and in my opinion, these pretty much suck right now. So I don't like them. I would not play these on anything. There is an alpha and a beta, and I hate them both. So no thank you to the Jean-Claude Van Damme and the Cuirassier weapons that I can't pronounce either one properly. So yeah, no thank you. Let's move on to the next thing. I hate these with a passion. Next up, we have the Tsar and the Ruptures. Now, these are Titan rocket weapons. Now, the thing is, one of these has a 10-second reload. The other one has a 26-second reload. So the alpha weapon has 10 seconds, but the Rupture has 26 seconds, which is exactly why I hate these weapons. I think they do really good damage, but that's if you can land the shots. Now, one major problem, besides the reload, the one major problem is these weapons shoot very slow. Let's just say you're 500 meters away and you fire one of these off. It feels like it takes 30 seconds for it to travel across the map and finally hit the other robot who's probably moved out of the way. So I find that if you're not at extremely close range, you're going to miss all the shots because they travel so slow. It's horrible. And then one has a fast reload, one has a slow reload, and then the reloads don't match up. It's just a big, giant mess. Like, I hate these weapons. I can't stand these weapons. I don't like them one bit. I think they suck. So, no thank you to these. There are a few people out there that like them. Like I said, though, if you can land the shots, the damage is great, but they're just kind of a mess when you're trying to play them. So, I would say these ones are a pass. No thank you. No thank you. I don't like these. Next up, we have our Vengeance and Retaliator. So these are the weapons that pretty much every Titan comes with. Now, I've done a lot of playing on these just to make sure the last couple of days, and these are playable weapons, right? You get them for free. The thing is, you're going to eventually replace these with something else, but since they're free weapons, you know, it would almost be better to play these than, you know, put your resources into some crappy Titan weapons that aren't that great and level these up. So my opinion is these are the weapons you play until you get a Titan weapon that's actually good, and then you replace these with the Titan weapons that are good. So these are great free-to-play weapons just to get you started, but just remember, only play these until you get a good Titan weapon. If you get another Titan weapon that might be a little bit better, but it's still not a great Titan weapon, well, I wouldn't put any resources into something that's not good. I mean, these are basically like, you know, the tier 1 Titan weapons. They're cheap to upgrade, and well, you know, they'll do you for a while until you get something better. So, you know, probably worth playing if that's all you have, but as soon as you get something better, then you want to replace these. But I just spent like 4 days playing the Retaliators on my Heimdall, and I had no problem whatsoever. I was just like, you know, this is fun. And then I put a Vengeance and some Retaliators on my Luchador, and I did not like it as much on the Luchador. So personally, you know, they're playable. They're okay. I mean, you get them for free, so level them up a little bit, play them. Then when you get something better, throw the better stuff on there. So that's how I look at these ones. Next up, we have our last set of Titan weapons. I'll double check to make sure there's not something I missed, but we have the Basilisk and the Crates. Basilisk and Crates. I've never really liked these. They're DOT weapons, they're machine guns, they got a 9-second reload, but I find that if I'm lagging a little bit or anything, I miss the shots. The aim with these is really hard to aim, so I can't play these worth a darn. It feels like you start shooting, you're out of ammo almost instantly, then you're just waiting for it to reload, and you miss the majority of the shots with these. So I don't recommend these whatsoever. I hate these weapons. I think if they were easier to aim, that would change my mind on these, but I think most people are going to have a really hard time and dislike this particular set of weapons. So the Basilisks and the Crates, nah, I think that's a bad idea for most people. Alright, so I believe we went through all of the weapons there. I mean, in my opinion, there's only so many Titan weapons that are worth playing. There's a lot of them that have just kind of fallen by the wayside. They're either barely worth playing or they're just terrible and not that good anymore. And then there's the handful of Titan weapons that are still good. I mean, it's really going to come down to, do you like the mechanics of the weapon? Do you enjoy playing it? And then how much damage it does. But that's kind of my feeling on all the different Titan weapons. So I think we went over every single one in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you found this helpful. But that's my kind of quick-ish opinion on every Titan weapon in the game right there. At this point in the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't like it, hit that big old thumbs down. Huge shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for the extra support. It really does help this channel keep running. Memberships start at just a couple of dollars a month, and they really do help out. If you check out the video's description and the pinned comment, you'll find my affiliate links where you can get some really amazing stuff. You'll find some other ways to help support the channel, plus there's some links to some game news and all kinds of other good stuff you might want to check out. But even watching more of our videos really does help this channel, so maybe click on one of these videos that's up on the screen, or maybe pull up one of my playlists or something and watch a few more if you got time. We would definitely appreciate that big time. But I really just want to say thank you so much for watching the videos. We really do appreciate that a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys and gals are amazing. Lightning out. Have a great day, and we will catch you next time.